Hey guys, Huzzy here, bringing you another video. Welcome back to the Champions Climb, returning to the Diamond Special, Diamond 3, so it's kind of like lower to mid-diamond. And we were watching this Jayce, so I'll explain what's going to be, like, why did I pick this guy, because some people ask, can I talk about the specifics of, like, why did I pick the player we're watching. But the reason why we're watching this guy is he's the first player that we're watching that technically has a negative win rate with the champion. So he is a Diamond 3 player. Finished it was in season 9 was Diamond 2, but is currently Diamond 3. And yeah, for Jayce, has over 100 games of Jayce played. Level 1 actually happening though. What's going to happen overall? Jayce starting his Q, does a bunch of damage, gets his first blood on the Darius. Enemy team though looking quite good if they can continue their aggression. They kill the Echo. The Jayce himself though is maintaining auto attacks throughout all of this, by the way. I don't know if minions of spawn has been bugged, but anyway, continuing. He is going to probably go down to the Caitlyn and will go down the end. Maybe could have used a bit more ranged form in that, and the advantage slightly goes so far to red team. So level 1 crazy start. They should be looking to maybe try to stop people here, if they can. The double Qs, well, actually W by Janna, may be able to get a kill, maybe not, but that is going to be the end overall. Jayce, however, did pick up himself first blood. Darius used Ghost, but still has a flash. But yeah, anyway, so this Jayce is over 100 games. KDA, not a bad KDA, but has a 43% win rate. So that's actually a pretty bad percent win rate when you have over, like, 100 games. That means he's won, basically, in essence, 43 games out of 100. That's not great. Does get 3 minions though, so that's a good start. Now, so that's one reason I chose this player, is because they have a negative win rate. Maybe we can try to point out how they have a negative win rate. Obviously, again, we're watching a good game by the player because I want to see how they do in a good place. And they're against a counter matchup. So Darius is notoriously good into Jayce. Jayce looking quite aggressive, so that's good to see. Actually gets a nice E off as well to block, oh sorry, get rid of the Darius Q. But yeah, Jayce obviously struggles against even a lot of melee champions, and some people may be surprised, but Darius, Camille, these type of champions are champions that beat Jayce. Because if they just get onto him once and he mucks up once, Jayce is probably dead. But anyway, the Jayce is going to look to poke when he can, because, you know, the Darius doesn't have Ghost. He does have Flash, but Ghost is obviously quite a key thing for this Darius. Does miss the Q, that's quite a big deal. All in potentially happening. Again, questionable fight, but the Jayce is going to continue his aggression. The passive does proc with the Flash, very predictable, and the Jayce picks himself up a kill. So that's actually really good. He did miss his Q in range form. That would have been an easier fight if he actually hit it. But what I liked there was, again, matchup knowledge, and maybe that wasn't obviously the hardest thing, but the Darius swinging his Q away from you, you know a flash is about to happen. And now this is the first time, so we've done obviously a couple episodes of this, so this is potentially the first time we're watching a Jayce base at an interesting way to do, like, to leave his minions. So he doesn't push the minion wave and then base. He left the minion wave, so it's going to slowly push forward and the numbers will build. So he's going to freeze it a little bit, but by the time he gets to his tower, meanwhile Echo gets the Amumu. By the time it actually gets to the Janna's disconnecting on Jayce's team, the tower, it's a lot of minions that the Darius has to deal with, and he'll probably press Q and push it back really fast, and therefore the lane will kind of reset. Because in the other two games, we weren't getting Jayces that were controlling the wave very well. And another thing that I like, this Jayce, compared to the others that we've watched, you can see how much he's spending in hammer form. Maybe he could be doing a bit more poking, but hammer form, as we've always mentioned, is a really good form to be in for mana return and everything like that. And this Jayce is definitely using both forms. A lot of Jayces you'll find. Meanwhile, the Jayce should go all in. This is go all in. You are 2 levels above him. Go for this kill. The Darius is trying to ghost away, and the Jayce does miss out. Now, the Jayce wanted to do one more auto attack, then land the E with the hammer. Little bit greedy. But it ends up okay. Nearly gets the kill on the Darius, and this Darius is in trouble. So this is really good, and a lot of this has come, obviously, from, well, the level 1 help to the Jayce. Let's not lie, or, you know, let's use... That obviously helped. But it's been good lane control so far. He is getting ganked. I would definitely just go all in for the Darius. Yeah. All in for the Darius, and maybe he could actually survive this. He can batter him away, swap to ranged form, use the movement speed. Oh, it was so close! He actually played that quite well. So again, good decision making, was nice to see. So already, you know, again, we're in Diamond 3. So we've done a bit of a jump. Last game was in high gold from memory. We've jumped to Diamond. We are also then going to watch Challenger. So these kind of series, the climb, I think we're going to go on average 4 episodes per champion. And I also just want to explain a couple things. Let me know in the comments what champion you guys want to see next be featured in the climb. And also, people made a good point. If you are a player, so whenever I announce whatever champion I'm going to be announcing, I'm going to announce it a few days at least before I actually begin recording, because it would be a lot cooler and better if I can get viewers in this series. That if you are, let's just say I pick Ezreal for the next champion, and you're a Iron or Bronze Ezreal main, well then contact me and then I can use that. That's kind of, again, don't contact me because I'm not picking Ezreal yet, but like that's the idea. So, and then if you're a Diamond Ezreal main, then I can feature you in this as well. So that's the idea. But you can see Darius trading, even though he's 0-3, evenish trades, because again, Darius should be winning this 1v1 when played evenly. He is actually going to be in danger, potentially. The Echo nearly goes down, but the Jayce does come in the end and helps get the kill on the Darius. Now, this game so far has been, on average, a Jayce doing quite well versus a unfortunate Darius. Now, that's not to say this Darius is doing bad, by the way. That's just the unfortunate thing with all-in champion. You're a Darius, you have one playstyle, that's about it. Your playstyle is go in, so when it doesn't go very well, that's why you end up feeding. It's not that you're inting, it's just your playstyle is all in, and now you're far behind. I think some people get confused by that a little bit, like, oh my dude, he's inting. They're not, it's just there's nothing he can do. This Darius has 2 options, literally sit back, get no farm, get poked anyway, or try to get the kill. You saw there, that trade that he had with the Jayce, he actually traded quite well. It was just unfortunate there was also an Echo there. Meanwhile, by the way, Malphite got a kill on the LeBlanc. Bit weird to see LeBlanc nowadays. Don't see many of them. And I think it might be an AP Malphite, which is also kind of weird. Tank Malphite is an absolute monster right now. But anyway, so I'd expect eclipse from this Jayce. One thing also I would expect is, last game we watched the Jayce had Mirror Mana. I was a bit surprised by that. The higher rating you go, I would actually expect no Mirror Mana. The reason being is because Mirror Mana is quite a delay for your lane phase. Meanwhile, again, Darius going all in. He is probably... Ooh, Jayce mucks up with his Q. So he has mucked up that Q a little bit, but just survives as the Darius. But yeah, so Jayce is what you would deem a partial lane bully. You know, a Darius will kill a Jayce later on into the game, but the Jayce needs to build that lane lead. So even though Mirror Mana is a good item on Jayce and it helps your mid to late game, a lot of the time you really need to build that lane lead as Jayce, and buying a tier and a Mirror Mana, it slows you down too much. Meanwhile, Darius does a nice roam and actually gets a kill. That's good for him. And yeah, so the higher rating you go, where mistakes are bigger, like, you know, a basic mistake gets made out to be a big deal, or, oh, you didn't push your lead as an early game champion or lane bully, well, now you've been completely owned. You have to, like, Jayce as a lane bully has to lane bully the higher rating he goes, so that's why you'll see a lot of Jayces ignore the tier. Mid lane, I would argue, mid lane Jayce is probably tier better, but in top lane, where you really need to beat that Darius, or you're really needing to beat that Camille in lane, yeah, I expect we don't see tiers now for the last couple episodes. But yeah, building his Eclipse, I would suspect, does he have it? He's got 12k, oh sorry, not 12k, 1200 gold in his back pocket. And I think that will be, yes, the completed Eclipse. Great item, gives high burst to champions that, well, sometimes it gives burst to champions that don't have burst, but also burst champions get even more burst with Eclipse. Meanwhile, Malphite on a killing spree, beating the LeBlanc, which I'm not too surprised about if I'm completely honest, and bot lane also having a good time too. So even though red team, reminding everyone, won the level 1, they actually came out on top, they are now struggling. And Mumu as a champion, you'll notice, is losing quite badly to an Echo. I think Echo is still one of the strongest champs in the game at the moment. Meanwhile, Darius has a red now, and Jayce is just not giving this guy any time and just obliterates him. So, what I like, thumbs tick, thumbs up tick, whatever you want to call it. I have Eclipse, power spike hit, go all in. So that's good decision making. Now, some people may be like, can I see anything with this Jayce that would, why does this guy have a negative win rate? So far, his lane phase is going good. So nothing so far would warrant me to think, like, how does this guy have a negative win rate? Obviously, we're watching a game that it's going good for the Jayce. As I've mentioned, even with the Darius, when it's going bad on a champ like Darius, it goes really bad. It's the exact same for Jayce. When Jayce is having a bad game, they have a really bad game. Like, they do literally no damage when they're having a bad game. So that might be part of it. Could be consistency, that this guy either does really good or really bad. If I look through his match history, I can maybe have a little look. So he had that game that he had a negative KD. Defeat went 4-10. Defeat 5-4, not feeding. Defeat 6-7. Yeah. So in his defeats on Jayce, that I'm kind of looking through his match history, it does look on average he gets high deaths. So that's mainly it. Maybe he has a bad game and he just keeps dying. And that would obviously lead to not doing great. He is looking to spring the trap. But in a game that this player is doing well, because, he looks to be quite an aggressive player. He's going to burst the Darius down. Fantastic. In a game he's doing well, what I like is his aggression. Really aggressive. Looking to just push this lead that he's got on the Darius as much as he can. As I mentioned, it's kind of a ticking time bomb. Eventually, and yeah, it might take a while, eventually this Darius will be a Jayce. It's inevitable, just how the champions work. So the Jayce is trying to extend his lead right now as much as he can to stop that happening earlier into the game. And hopefully by the time that even would happen, the game's already over. So that's really, really good. Mechanically, this guy seems pretty solid. We've only seen a couple mistakes. Farm-wise, his farm is perfectly acceptable. No big complaints. Yeah, no, like there, missing the occasional one. That's being human as a League of Legends player. That's, we're not looking for perfect CS. Even in Challenger, we're not looking for perfect CS. And right now, I can tell you, this Jayce wanted this fight. So the Amumu is top. The Darius is dead. So this Jayce is even now kind of baiting fights. He's now going to, with the Echo's help, go for the Amumu. He is stunned, and he picks himself up a double kill. Again, high aggression. The Jayce was basing where he was to be like, you want to engage on me? Go for it. And by the way, I think the Jayce actually would have based there. If the Darius didn't go aggressive, he would have taken the base happily and be like, all right, I'm going to go back and buy. See you later. But that was the Darius going for that, not the Jayce. But it was Jayce was giving the Darius the option. And the Jayce wanted that to happen. So that's a really big thumbs up too. So what I'd say so far is we've definitely seen a jump up in skill and everything from this Jayce. Now moving on to like the game, the Jayce is 7-2-2. He's ahead of his lane opponent by a lot. What I want like as for like how to climb, yeah, what I want to see right now, don't stay in top lane. Like that is one of the biggest things. That is I'm a top laner, I can't climb, my teammates. Do you just stay in top lane split pushing the whole game? Because if you are those type of players, I'm not surprised. But if you're winning lane, because I always have those people going, I win lane and I still lose when I'm top lane. If you're winning lane, you should be making an impact around the map. You can't just be top lane the whole game. So Jayce has now gone to bot lane. So why is he going down here? So what he's going to be doing is, one, he's now going to be going against the AD carry. But what the Jayce is looking for is this tower. He's looking to break towers. Now, maybe his bot lane should have gone top lane by now if he wanted to make this play happen. He gets a nice EQ, nearly kills the AD carry. But he is the strong one. Yes, his Jhin isn't doing bad, but he's trying to make an impact around the map. So that's what I like. That's a really good thing to see. Now, the Darius does have to flash away. Gale Force obviously being taken by the Jhin as it's very strong right now. And there is a 2v1 potential situation for the Jayce. And maybe even the Echo should come down. Here we go. Lovely aggression. He misses his Q. Oh, that might actually miss him the kill. Yep. Unfortunately, he missed his Q and that lost him out the 2v1. But this is great. So you should learn a lot from this Jayce of win your lane by being aggressive when you can be. Then, look, that aggression was absolutely fantastic. I think Caitlyn had a flash and just didn't even react. He should have got a 2v1 there. But the big thing that I'd say, the negative of this Jayce's game so far, even though overall it's been very good, he has missed quite a lot of Qs for like having a good performance. He has missed 2 or 3 kind of vital Qs that if he hit them, it would be like, that would make his performance like literally really clean. Like if you remember in top lane where he nearly died, he did get the kill, but he missed a Q as the engage. There he missed a kill because he missed a Q. So overall, again, we're nitpicking here because we can, because this guy's playing very well. But his farm's good, his pressure's good. He's now broken, obviously, the tower down here. So again, having that global pressure as the top laner is key to climbing as a top laner. Enemy team, you know, kind of a little... Oh, he didn't get the kill. But enemy team looking a little bit desperate. Darius is back here. If I was the Darius, arguable that he should be actually here or not. Part of me would be like, just stay in top lane and, you know, farm. Jayce went back, bought, TP'd in, by the way, and now back gets himself another kill. Mercury Treads is the option, which I agree with, and that's kind of a little bit of kick in the teeth to the Darius. I'm a Darius, I beat you later. He's not even buying the armor boot against me, he's buying the magic boot against me because anti-CC. He's really fed. The big thing that can counter this Jayce is if he can't do damage. Looking for that Caitlyn. Hits the EQ. She's going to try and run away, using his abilities to kind of just gain the movement towards the Caitlyn, and gets himself the kill, makes himself godlike. So this so far obviously has been the cleanest performance from Jayce, and this is kind of what I want this natural series to become. Is we watched a bronze player, we watched a gold player, and step by step we're seeing improvement and better. It's very hard for me to even suggest things for this Jayce. We watch it again. Part of it, and people will say, is, how's you watching a game that a guy's getting really fed? True. And I would say, as the opposite, you know, he's played very well against this Darius. There's a game here in his match history. He loses the game. He went 9-8-8 against a Darius, but the Darius went 5-10. So this guy just knows how to play, you know, recently anyway, against something like a Darius. And the way that you have to do it, a lot of it is use your range advantage when you can, but then also know as a Jayce when to go for that all-in. And that's what this guy did very well. A lot of Jayces, as I mentioned, they just stick in ranged form and they never go for that all-in, where Jayce's all-in, especially in lane phase, is extremely strong, very potent in its strength. And this guy did that a lot, and that's how he snowballed his lead. So, you know, the Darius, you could say, didn't play great, but I honestly think it's not that Darius didn't play good. The Jayce just played great. He played well. He kind of countered the counter, as it were. That if the Jayce was like, oh no, a Darius is supposed to counter me, I'm going to play passive, he probably would have got beat in the long run, but he didn't. He was like, screw that he counters me, I'm going to go all in on him when I can. And that's what happened. So that's a good lesson for a lot of people, I think, that even though you're in a counter matchup, technically, you can still win. You just have to push your advantage. And yes, obviously the level 1 gave a little bit more, again, not much, a little advantage to the Jayce over the Darius. But the Darius, it was close. It was close, but the Jayce just went for it, which I like. I really like. The Amumu is also dead. Really nice use of auto attacks. He delayed his auto attacks right till the end to then finish the Amumu off with a Q. Very good use of his DPS as well. Took Echo quite a while to kill the dragon. They're pushing into the base. Enemy team might try to defend, but they're a little bit out of position, to be honest. I don't know why the enemy team are so out of position, but they are. And this will now be the second tower broken into, and maybe the first inhibitor. Jayce looking aggro again, does get E'd and then Q'd by Morgana. Malphite one-shots, because again, he's had actually quite a good game, and Jayce will finish off the Darius to go legendary, and this should be a double inhibitor. Not really sure what the Echo's doing, to be honest. No idea. But, again, this is also one thing to say, is if you looked at this guy's stats, you're like, you know, over 100 games on Jayce with a 43% win rate. A lot of people are like, he's terrible at the champ. Not necessarily, but this is kind of the point of volatile champions like Jayce or aggressive champions. Meanwhile, this isn't looking too good for our boy. He does go down. This is the problem with champions like Jayce or Darius or Rengar or Riven. When you have good games, it goes really good. When you have bad games, it goes really bad. Yasuo, Yone, they're other ones too. So that is maybe why this Jayce has a negative win rate. When he played well, it's gone really good. Map impact, didn't stay top lane the whole game. Grouping a little bit. Went bot lane, got the tower down there. Farming is really good. So I would presume just when the Jayce doesn't have a good game or doesn't snowball his early lead, or if he doesn't even have an early lead, maybe he doesn't snowball, that is where the losses will start to come in. Even though I'm a massive fan of Jayce, he's the champion I used to get master myself, it is actually quite hard to solo carry on the champion. You know, his damage does somewhat fall off later. compared to other top laners, to be honest, especially like the ones that get really tanky with also doing a lot of damage. Jayce doesn't really get that tanky, and his damage, again, is damage, let's even say to a Camille, his damage is less than a Camille's in late game, but obviously it's different types of damage. Jayce can range poke versus other top laners that can't. So you just have to kind of play smart as a Jayce and try to build that early lead. So that's been really good to see. LeBlanc with a black shield. Don't know what she's doing, getting a little bit too close to the Jayce. He doesn't finish off the kill, but with a couple of auto attacks does quite well. Caitlyn ulting the Jayce, you can see with Janna shields, etc. Not really taking much damage, and then now going to just look to potentially just walk into the enemy base. I think this is the right decision. Why give the enemy team any time for a potential comeback? Darius is flanking, and Jayce is looking for him. Misses the Q again, and what can Darius do? Probably nothing at this point in the game. Gets his passive, doesn't get his ult, and ends up dead. So Darius obviously had a rough game. Just got too far behind. Too far behind. Potentially what the Darius should have done was, as weird as it is, should have accepted that Jayce had an early lead and played a little bit more passive, like not gone for the all-in fights, but the Darius never did. The Darius kept fighting the all-in, and that just gave Jayce the too big advantage. Malphite going for it, does get the kill on the Caitlyn. Jayce going for it as well, gets chained by LeBlanc, and this looks to be probably the end of the game. Looking for a bit more damage on Mumu, does his combo in melee form, into the range form, high DPS combo, and will pick himself up the one more kill to be 14, 3, and 5, 180 farm. And probably the most gold in the game. Most gold in the game by a lot. No one on his team was over 10,000. No one on the enemy team was over 10,000. He had 13.3. So this was a very dominant Jayce performance. Mechanically very clean. Yeah, just overall really good. Darius is supposed to beat a Jayce. But this Jayce, with that tiny little lead that he did in the early game, was like, I need to expose this. I need to use this. And he did. And that was great. So that was episode, I think, 3 of the Champions Climb featuring Jayce, Diamond Edition, but obviously mid to low Diamond. The next episode we watch will be probably the final episode of Jayce, and that will be a Challenger, Grandmaster type game, the higher ranks, the highest rating, really. And we'll see if there's any more improvement. You know, what I would expect was maybe that when we go a little bit higher, even in Jayce, the few Q misses that the Jayce had, maybe that's where in Challenger we won't see those miss, for example. So we'll see. But anyway, that's going to be it. If you guys enjoyed, throw a like on it, throw a comment, let me know what you thought about it, and I'll see you guys next time. And throw a subscribe if you're not subscribed, by the way. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.